Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is 𝐕𝐢𝐝𝐵𝐤, and in today's video, I'll show you how to create an AWS EC2 instance with two network interfaces. So this setup is useful when you want your virtual machine to be connected to multiple networks such as internal private network and a public facing network. Okay, so here you can see this is my AWS management console. So currently I'm on Mumbai region. Okay, so directly select your VPC first. So let's do this everything from scratch. Okay, so first let's create a VPC. So directly select here create VPC. So before creating this VPC, let's select here your VPCs. So currently I have only the two VPCs. One is default VPC and one is my VPC. So now let's create a VPC. Directly select here create VPC. Let's give the name like test VPC. And now VPC CIDR range, let's give 10.0.0.0/21. Okay. So directly select here create VPC. And now directly select here subnets. So directly select here create subnet, and first you need to select VPC ID. So here it was asking under which VPC you want to create the subnets. It was asking, so I want to create under test VPC. So directly select here test VPC. So VPC CIDR is 10.0.0.0/24. So now let's create a subnet. So let's give the name like test subnet 1. Okay, so here this is the main thing. So when we are going to create an AWS EC2 instance with two network interfaces, both the subnets availability zone should be the same, guys. Okay, this point always you need to remember when we are going to create when you are going to create an EC2 instance with two network interfaces. Okay, so directly drop down this. So here I'm going to create test subnet 1 under AP South 1A. Okay, so this is the VPC CIDR range. So let's give subnet CIDR range like 10.0.0.0/24. So it creates with 256 IPs. Okay. Now let's create another subnet. So directly select here add new subnet. So we are going to create an EC2 instance with two network interfaces, right? So we need to have two subnets within the same VPC. Okay. So now let's give the name like test subnet 2, and here availability zone, here you need to select AP South 1A. Again I'm telling you, when you are going to create a network in VPC, sorry, when you are going to create an AWS EC2 instance with two network interfaces, both the availability zone should be in the same, guys. Okay, so here you can see subnet 1 I'm going to create under AP South 1A, and subnet 2 I'm going to create under AP South 1A. Okay, so CIDR, let's give 10.0.1.0/24. So it also create with 256 IPs. So directly select here create subnet. So both the subnets has been created. So now I'm going to select here test subnet, actions, edit subnet settings, enable auto assign public IP for address, and save. So this is not a mandatory thing, guys. Okay. So enable this and save. And now let's create an internet gateway. So directly select here internet gateways and directly select here create internet gateway. So let's give the internet gateway name like test IGW, and directly select here create internet gateway. So now I'm going to attach this internet gateway to our test VPC. So directly select here attach to a VPC, drop down this and select your test VPC and attach internet gateway. So this internet gateway will provide internet to our VPC. Okay. So now let's create a route table. Okay. Directly select your route tables. So currently I have only 3 route tables. So I'm going to create route table for my test VPC. Okay. Directly select here create route table. So let's give the name like test RT, which stands for route table, and VPC I want to create under test VPC, and directly select here create route table. So let's select here subnet association. So currently we are inside of the test route table. Okay. So directly select here subnet associations. Directly select here edit subnet associations. Directly select here test subnet 1 and test subnet 2. And directly select here save associations. So now both the subnets are associated with this route table. So now directly select here routes and edit routes, add route, and here I'm going to select 0.0.0/0 through internet gateway. I'm going to provide internet. So internet gateway test IGW. Okay. So this is the internet gateway we created. Directly select here save changes. So up to now we created a VPC and we created two subnets and we created an internet gateway and we attached this internet gateway to a VPC. And after that, we created a route table and we associated our two subnet to this route table. Okay. So now let's jump on to EC2. Okay, so let's come here, directly select your instances. So here you can see currently we don't have even single EC2 instance. So let's create an EC2 instance with two network interfaces, guys. Okay, so by default, when you are going to create an EC2 instance, it will create only with single network interface. So after creating this virtual machine, I will explain you how to attach another network interface for this EC2 instance. Okay, so first let's directly select your launch instance. Let's give the name like test instance, and here OS I'm going to select as Ubuntu. So instance type I'm going with the T2 micro. So it is for practice purpose only, right? So that's why I'm going with the T2 micro. It comes with one CPU and 1 GB of memory. Okay. So now I'm going to select here proceed without a key pair. So if you want to create a key pair, you can directly select here create new key pair. So actually I created a number of videos on AWS EC2, VPC and S3, IAM and everything. So if you want to watch that videos directly, you can watch that videos on my YouTube channel. Okay. So directly select here. This is the main thing, network settings. So directly select here edit. And now I'm going to select here test VPC. So previously we created this test VPC, right? So now I'm going. So here you can see. Let me refresh this page. Let me drop down this. So here you can see test VPC. So now I'm going to create this virtual machine under this test VPC under test subnet 1. Okay, here you can see currently we are going to select test subnet 1. Simply remember this, guys. Okay. So now let's select firewall rule like test SG security group. So let's copy this description. Let's remove this and let's paste it here. And I'm going to provide SSH access, which is for port 22. And I'm going with the default storage, which is 8 GB. And I'm going to directly select your launch instance. Okay. So directly select your instances. Let me refresh this. So here you can see our virtual machine. That means our EC2 instance is in up and running. So now let's see how this network interface. So directly select your networking and come down. So here you can see under network interfaces. So currently it is created only with single network interface. Okay. Why? Because means we have attached only single subnet, which is test subnet 1. Okay. So now let's create a network interface. So directly come down and here you can see network interfaces. So I will open this in a new tab. Let me keep it here. Let me keep it here. Okay. So now here you can see it will provide only the single network interface. So by default, when we create an EC2 instance, it will create with only the single network interface. So this is the network interface. So here you can see test security group, and this is the single network interface it is created. So now let's create one another network interface and let's attach that network interface to this EC2 instance. So directly come here and let's select create network interface. So let's give the interface name like interface 2. So let's give the name like network interface 2. So this is the name I'm giving. So subnet. So this is the main thing. So when we are going to create this virtual machine, we created under test subnet 1. Okay. So now we need to create this network interface under test subnet 2. Okay. So here you can see test subnet 2. I'm going to select this test subnet 2. And here I'm going to select test security group and directly select here create network interface. So a network interface has been created. So let's come here. So currently here you can see this is the network interface. Here you can see name test network interface 2. Currently it is in available state. So currently this network interface is not using any of the virtual machine. That means any of the EC2 instance. Okay. So now let's attach this network interface to our EC2 instance. So directly jump onto EC2 and directly select this test instance and directly select here actions, directly select networking and directly select here attach network interface. And here you need to select test VPC. Okay. So under this VPC only we created this network interface, right guys? Okay. So that's why you need to select test VPC, and here you need to select the network interface. Here you can see network interface 2. Okay. So this is the network interface we created, and directly select here attach. So let me refresh this. So here you can see currently here you can see one private IPv4 and one public IPv4 address. So here you can see automatically it has assigned another private IP address. So currently we have two private IP address, right? That means it created with two network interfaces. So if you want to clarify this doubt, you can directly come on to networking and directly come down. So here you can see network interfaces 2. So now this virtual machine is created. So that means this EC2 instance is created with two network interfaces. So this network interface 1 is created under test subnet 1, and here you can see network interface 2 is created under test subnet 2. Okay, that means this EC2 instance is created under two subnets. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's directly SSH into this virtual machine. So directly select here connect, come down and directly select here connect. So let's come here and let's open this. So let's wait. So okay, it is successfully connected. So let's clear the screen. First let's update this virtual machine. Sudo apt update -y. So it will update this virtual machine. So let me clear the screen. So now directly hit IP space A. So it will display all the network interfaces. So here you can see 10.0.0.0 slash sorry 10.0.0.0.27. Okay, so now let's come here. So here you can see 10.0.0.0 slash dot 27 means this is created under test subnet 1. Okay, so test subnet 2 we created under 10.0.1 series. Okay, so now let's come here. So here you can see network interface 2 10.0.1.23. So 10.0.1.23. Okay, so this is the network interface 2. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Let's try to ping these two private IP addresses, whether it will communicate or not. So let's come here and let's clear the screen. So first let's try to ping to our test subnet 1, which is this IP 10.0.0.0.27. Directly select here, enter. So here you can see ping is going and it is coming back. That means it is working fine. So now let me copy test subnet to private IP address, and let's come here. Let's directly select here ping and paste that private IP address here and enter. So here you can see ping is going and it is coming back. It is working fine. So this EC2 instance is created with two network interfaces. So if you want to see that, you can directly jump onto networking. And here you can see network interfaces is 2. So these two are the network interfaces. Okay. So this is how you can create an AWS EC2 instance in two network interfaces. So same like this I explained on Google Cloud. So if you haven't watched that video, please watch that video on my YouTube channel. Okay. And yes, that's it for today's video. Now I will explain you how to delete this virtual machines and VPCs and everything. So before deleting this, so let's detach this network interface to this EC2 instance. So currently here you can see it is with two network interfaces. Okay. So now if you want to detach this network interface, okay. So let me come here and let me refresh this. So let's wait. So currently it was showing available. So here we need to see in use. Okay. So here you can see test interface 2 currently it is in use. So now if you want to detach this network interface, you can directly come here and directly select your instance and directly select your actions, and in networking. So here you can see detach network interface. Directly select this. So let's wait. So directly drop down this. Directly select your network interface. So I want to detach this network interface too. So directly select this and directly select your detach. So currently here you can see still it is doing 2. So within some time this IP will not show, guys. 10.0.1.23. So let me refresh this. So here you can see it was detached successfully. So if you want to check that, you can directly come here. So IP space A. So now here you can see it was showing only 10.0.0.27. So here you can see 10.0.0.27. That means test subnet 1. So if you want to see in detail, you can directly jump onto networking. So here you can see network interfaces, it was showing only one. So this is the network interface, which is test subnet one. Okay. So this is how you can create a network interface. You can attach that network interface to your virtual machines. But the one thing is, both when you are going to create subnets, both the subnets should be in the same availability zone when you are going to create a network interface. Okay. That point always you need to remember. Okay. So and yes, that's it for today's video. Now let's first delete this network interface. So after completing your labs, try to delete each and everything, guys. Okay. So here you can see network interface 2, it is showing in use. So when I refresh this, automatically it will change to available. So here you can see available. So now first let's delete this network interface. So directly select this actions, delete and delete. So network interface 2 has been deleted successfully. So now if we delete this EC2 instance, automatically this network interface will be automatically deleted, guys. Okay. So let's come here, directly select this instance state and terminate and terminate. So here you can see currently it is going to shutting down state. So let me refresh this. So now this network interface also will be deleted. Let me refresh this. And after deleting this EC2 instance, let's delete this VPC, subnet, firewalls and route tables and everything. So by default, if you delete this VPC, automatically everything will be deleted, guys. Okay, I will show you that. So first let's come here and let me refresh this. So currently it is in shutting down state. So let's select your network interfaces and let me refresh this. So here you can see our test instance is terminated successfully. So now let's come here and let me refresh this. Automatically this will be deleted. So here you can see currently we don't have any of the network interfaces. Okay. So now let's directly delete this test VPC. So directly select this test VPC, actions, delete VPC. So here you can see automatically it will delete this test internet gateway, test route table, and it will delete this two subnets. Okay. Directly select here. So it will delete this security group also, guys. Okay. So directly select here, delete and delete. So now everything will be deleted. So okay, everything has been deleted. So this is how you can create a network interface. This is how you can create a virtual machine with two network interfaces. Okay, and yes, that's it for today's video. And if you like my video, please do like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And see you in the next video. And bye.